Hi everyone, welcome to Find Your Flow. I am Natalie and today we are taking our leg day practice out of the gym and onto our mat for a fiery lower body focused flow. We're going to really connect to the stability in our lower body with lots and lots of love, but adding that yoga mindfulness aspect to our practice. So hop onto your mat and I'll meet you there. So we're going to jump on down to the ground and begin our practice lying flat on our backs with a bend in the knees. And we have the option of walking our feet a little wider so that the knees can fall in onto one another. And this just helps to take any extra effort out of being here, because we're just wanting to invite us some real softness into arrive in this space, arrive in our practice. So I'm placing the hands on the belly and closing down your eyes, and we'll right away soften through the muscles of the face. Let the shoulders melt away from the ears down towards the ground. Let the arms feel heavy and really come to just soften through the legs. So if we're holding any tension in spaces without even realizing sometimes, maybe the hips, the glutes, the feet, the toes, wherever it is, just notice. And with your exhale as your guide, release this. So we'll keep a very strong connection to our breath in our practice today. As always, wherever we are in our asana or movement, our breath is there as our foundation. Inhaling through the nose, let the belly inflate. Exhale through the nose, let the belly soften. And we'll just spend a few more breaths here, letting go of the day thus far. And arriving on our mat, because the hard part's already over. We're here, we've chosen this video. We are awesome, we're dedicating this time to ourselves. Find one more big breath in through the nose and then open your mouth and sigh it out. Nice. Walking the feet to parallel. Taking the hands down by your sides. Really spreading down through each of your fingers. Really find a nice wide base in the palms and the soles of the feet as we spread through the toes. And to begin with, we'll peel our tailbone off and then roll each vertebra one by one off our mat, lifting towards the sky. But keeping this really soft and easy as we roll back down individual vertebra one by one. It's just the intention here as we wake up through the spine, lifting and lowering. There's no rush. Nice. Next time you lower down, stay there. This time as we rise up, instead of our 2-foot support where we're just focusing a bit more on our spinal space, almost like a lying down version of our cat-cow, we're going to really connect to the lower body. Right away we're going to jump in there to our yoga style leg day, checking in with glutes and hamstrings in particular in our bridge pose. So planting through the feet, really grounding down with awareness. We'll press up, connect. Rather than just squeezing the bottom as hard as we possibly can, we're going to keep that mindfulness around this area. And then lowering all the way down, one level, nice. Pressing up. And lowering down, lovely. Rise up. Mindful that we're not completely collapsing here. We're looking to really keep this awareness in the lower body. Lower and lift, and either stay here or extend one leg out in front and lift one-legged and lower. And if we're lifting one leg, then can we do 5 on each side? So moving in your own time, at your own pace, trusting your breath here, and remembering the intention behind our posture. Where are we looking to really send our awareness the most? Nice. Make sure you've evened it out, and then everybody release, and we'll meet hugging the knees in towards us. Hands to the knees or shins, just rock it gently side to side. Really hug that lower back space down towards the earth. And as we float back to center, bring one hand to each knee, open them out wide, and send them around in big circles. Just send a little love to that hip space. Get some oil into the hip joint. Send your circles in the opposite direction. Nice, and then jumping back to center, hands to the hamstrings, curl chin towards the chest. Begin to roll up and down the length of your spine. And just take a few more rolls here. We're going to lift all the way up into a tabletop position. So arrive there in your own time. And planting the wrists beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, we'll float our left leg back behind us. Really press away through this left heel actively. Send the toes down towards the ground and then bend the knee. As we curl it all the way up and in toward the nose, round through the spine, create space so that we can step forwards. And either staying here, or we have options of lifting hands onto some form of prop. We can lift our back knee off the ground if we'd like to. We're just going to rock it forwards and back. So we're either here, we might want to be here, maybe we're here, just making it work for you as always. And just pay attention to what's going on in the legs today. If they are feeling a little bit stiff or tired, or maybe you're ready for this movement practice, whatever it is, just keep connected to your breath. And then come back to center. Everybody plant the palms, step the left leg back, tuck the toes under, sit the hips to the heels. Actively spreading through the fingers, send the tailbone high, downward facing dog. Have a little wiggle and a pedal. Send the tailbone high, keep this softness in the knees as we lift up through the spine. Nice. Find one more breath here. And then release knees to the earth and extend that right leg back behind. Really press away. Imagine you're trying to kick a hole in the wall behind you with your heel. Bend in the knee, curl it up and in toward the nose, and step forward, lightly step forward. Hands can stay where they are or come onto some bricks. We can lift our back knee or keep it lowered, and we'll just rock it forwards and back a few times here. Awesome. Then coming back to center, plant the palms, come back, knees to the earth, sit hips to the heels, rise, downward facing dog. Awesome. From down dog, we'll right away float the left leg off the mat. Same principle. Send the heel away actively, toes dial down. There's a very slight internal rotation in this left thigh so that it's really helping the toes to come down towards the mat. Find one more breath here. And then bend the knee, curl it up and in toward the nose. Upper body's in our plank position with our shoulders over our wrists. And step the left foot forward lightly. Nice. Taking that right foot a little wider. Hands come to the hips. Connect to the lower body as we lift into a high lunge. But we're going to bring that right knee just to hover off the earth. So we've got a slightly shorter stance than what we might be used to practicing with. As we reach our fingertips, soften through the elbows. Just take a moment to get situated here. Just add a little bob. Just notice how your body feels in space. Nice. And then either stay where you are in stillness, connecting to your breath. Or as you inhale, lengthen the front leg, reach the arms up. Exhale to release. Nice. Going to do that a couple more times. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lengthen. This is an up and down movement. Exhale to lower. And either stay where you are or we're going to pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wherever you are, send the weight to the left leg as the right leg reaches off behind. Warrior 3 position. Keep connected to that Left foot, toes soft on the earth. Notice what's happening in the right leg as it presses away actively, toes dial down. Take a big breath in. And then step forwards. Right foot to the ground. Sit back in your imaginary chair in Utkatasana, chair pose. Nice. And from here we can either stay where we are or peel our heels off the mat and sit down a little lower. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone, heels to the earth. But this time we've got the option of either again staying where we are or taking our right foot a little bit closer towards us and a little bit further back with our heel lifted off the mat. And then from here, we can reach our arms out in front to add a little bit of support as we bend our knees. Come to sit back and then press back up to our chair. Nice. So it's almost a pistol squat if you've ever practiced one of these before. Breathing, bend down, lift up. We'll practice this 2 more times. Lifting down and up, down and up. Awesome. Everyone step into chair and then folding forwards. Planting the palms on the earth, come back to your downward facing dog and pedal through the heels. Take a moment to just wiggle it out, releasing the legs. Big breath in, big breath out. From here, float right leg, off the mat, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, curl it up and in toward the nose, and then lightly step it forward. We'll rise straight to our high lunge position, so making sure we've got a big wide stance. Hands come to the hips as we connect to the earth and lift up. Back heel is off the ground with our back knee just hovering away from our mat. Open our arms into cactus and we have options. We can either stay exactly where we are, or on our next inhale we can lengthen and reach a little taller. Exhale, lower. Nice. 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Either stay here or pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Everyone transfer the weight to the right leg as the left leg reaches off behind. Warrior 3. Remember, we can find our Warrior 3 maybe against the wall or a sofa, something to support us. Find 1 more breath where you are. And then stepping the left foot forward, sit back and Utkatasana, chair pose. Check in with your foundation here. Toes tracking forwards, knees softly bending. Either stay where you are or hover the heels off the ground. Sit back a little lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone release both heels. Option of exploring that almost half pistol squat. So our left foot comes a little bit closer towards our right. And we peel our left heel off the ground. Reaching our arms out in front, bend the knees and lift off. Nice. We'll do that 4 more times. I always lose count. Maybe we've got 1 more. And then step back to chair. Nice. From here, fold forwards, plant the palms, and step back either to downward facing dog or bring the knees to the earth and take a child's pose. Wherever you are, just return back to your breath and really take what you need. If you want to have a little break, have a little rest, feel free to. We'll just find a couple more breaths here if we're in child's pose before taking our time to rise up to a downward dog, tucking the toes, rising up, tailbone lifting high. In down dog, float the left leg off the mat. Bend the knee, curl it up and in toward the nose, and lightly step it forward. This time we'll pivot our right foot straight to the ground, turning toes out to about 2 o'clock and pressing all the way up to our warrior two. So we've got our front knee bent over our front ankle, our back leg is nice and long here, and really taking note of how wide our feet are, just to make sure that we're not compressing in the sacrum. So if we're together on a tightrope, then we might just want to revisit if we're maybe feeling a little bit off balance. But our inner thighs are rolling away from one another as the hips open towards the right side of the mat. We'll take our gaze to our front hand and reach it forwards, up and all the way back. Nice length through that left side body in our reverse warrior. Inhale fully. Exhale through warrior two, straight to a side angle pose, your own version. So either the left forearm comes to the thigh, or we take our hands down to our brick, block, or to the earth. Just mindful that we're not collapsing into this left side. Inhale, reach forwards, up and back, reverse warrior. Exhale, release straight through to side angle pose. Nice. We're going to do that a couple more times. Inhale, rise all the way up. Keep pressing through the outer edge of that back foot. Exhale, release. Side angle pose. Nice. Inhale, rise, lift all the way up. Exhale, release to your side angle. Keep the heart space shining towards the sky. Last time, lift all the way up and all the way down. Nice. As we press up to our warrior two, just take a moment to straighten through that front leg. Give it a little wiggle if we need to. And we're going to come to pivot our front foot over towards the right side of our mat. And as we do this, taking the toes out to about 10 and 2. Keeping this external rotation, this rolling away of our thighs that we found in our warrior two. As we bend our knees and sit them hips back a little lower in our goddess pose. So we're going to start in our goddess, finding a variation in the arms that works for us, whether that's lifted, cactus, palms to prayer, whatever works for you. Really keep thinking about the knees rolling away from the middle of the mat as we breathe here. Keeping the outer edges of both feet pressing down. And we can either stay exactly where we are or lift the heels off. Maybe we sit back a little lower. And we'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Everybody lift up. Whew. And come to plant the palms down, facing the front of the mat, and step back to a downward facing dog. Nice. Wiggle it out. Give it a pedal. Awesome. Connecting back to your breath. We're going to float our right leg off the mat, bend the knee, curl it all the way up and in, and lightly step it forward. Pivoting that left foot to the ground now as we lift to our warrior one. Sorry, warrior two. Too delirious from all this leg day practice. Really taking a moment to roll away through the thighs, bending that front knee over the front ankle, sending the back leg nice and long. Then we'll find our warrior flow. So as we flip our front hand, reach it forwards, up and all the way back, reverse warrior. Release straight to your version of a side angle pose. Inhale, lift it up and back. Exhale, release, coming through. 3 more times. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Keep the lower body exactly where it is. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. I always lose count, so we're going to do one more for good measure. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Nice. And as we press up to our warrior two, we're going to pivot our right toes to face towards that left side of the mat. And I'm going to face you so I don't have my back to you. 10 and 2 with the feet. Roll away the thighs. Bend the knees. Sit back a little lower. Lovely. Find something that works in the arms. And again, you can stay where you are. We can find that variation of the heels lifted from our first goddess variation, or We can bend our knees a little more, cross our arms over in front of us, and then lengthen all the way up. Imagine we're taking off a jumper. As we release, lower all the way down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, soften. Nice. Crossing the opposite arm on top. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Moving here. 3 more times. One more for good measure. Goddess pose. Lengthen the legs. Awesome. Come back to plant the palms towards the front of the mat and step it back to your downward facing dog. We'll be here for 1 big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth. Let it all go. And then when your knees come to the earth, just time to take a moment to sit back on the legs and just give the tops of the thighs a little bit of love here from the hands. Send a little bit of support that way. And take a moment to thank yourself for being here, for practicing, for putting in this awesome amount of time and effort to just spread some love to yourself, to your mind and to your body. And as we scoop the legs to one side, we're going to come on down to the ground and just have a couple of moments and a couple of postures to wind down and send some care to the legs. So coming off, lying on the ground, we'll plant our left foot and we'll cross our right ankle over the top of the left thigh. So coming to explore our reclined pigeon, either staying where we are here with that knee pressing out to the side, or we can interlace our hands around that left hamstring and mindful that the feet stay active. So rather than collapsing into the ankle joint, we're looking to keep toes flexed up towards the face. That left shin's parallel to the sky. Just take a couple of breaths here. And then slowly release. Plant the right foot, cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh. I'm going to find the same thing on the other side, but just notice how one side of your body might feel different to the other. So we might need to take a different variation. Just ease off if you need to, or if there's space to dive in a little more, then go for it. Trust your body. Option to interlace hands as we lift that right shin parallel to the sky. Breathing wherever you are. Keeping the muscles of the face soft. And then releasing both feet to the mat. Walk them nice and wide. Hands to the belly. Let both knees fall over to the left side. Reach all the way up and then over towards the right side. Moving here from side to side, windscreen wiper in the knees, sending a little bit of love to the hips, the spinal space. You might want to stay on one side and add a little more by bringing the bottom leg to the outside of that top leg. And then when you're ready, come back to center and hug both knees in. On your next inhale, curl the forehead up towards the knees, round through the spine. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, release fully into your Shavasana. Now we can stay here for as long as we would like to. But if we do have to boogie, if we were just adding this on perhaps to the end of another workout or just quickly in our lunch break or something like that, then I invite you to float palms together at the heart as we spread a softness from our head to our toes. Take a full breath in appreciation for our awesome selves. Exhale. Let a smile spread across your face. I thank you so much for joining me, as always, from my heart to each of yours. Namaste.